It started as a routine night shift. Daniel Kovac had worked as a dispatcher for just under 3 years, long enough to stop feeling nervous when the phone rang, but not long enough to become numb to what people said on the other end. Most nights were predictable noise complaints, minor accidents, the occasional drunk caller who forgot why they dialed in the first place. But October 14th was different. At exactly 2:13 a.m., a call came in from a number that didn't register in the system. No name, no location ping, just an empty ID. Daniel hesitated for half a second before answering. "Emergency services, what's your situation?" At first, there was only silence. Then, breathing. Not normal, breathing slow, uneven, like someone trying very hard not to be heard. "Hello?" Daniel repeated, sitting up straighter. A whisper followed. "Please, don't hang up." The voice was female, weak, shaking. Daniel's fingers moved quickly over the keyboard, trying to trace the call. "Nothing. I'm not hanging up," he said calmly. "Can you tell me where you are?" There was a pause. Then, "Room 312. "Okay," Daniel said. "Room 312, where? A hotel? Apartment?" Another pause. Then something changed. The breathing stopped. Completely. And when the voice returned, it was still hers, but colder. Flattened. "He doesn't like when I talk." Daniel frowned. "Who doesn't like it?" No answer. Instead, he heard something else. A sound in the background. A soft, dragging noise, like something being pulled slowly across the floor. "Ma'am, are you alone?" Silence again. Then, a sharp, muffled thud. The line went dead. Daniel immediately flagged the call and tried to trace it manually. Still nothing. No GPS data. No registered carrier. It was like the call had come from nowhere. His supervisor brushed it off. "Probably a VoIP glitch or prank," she said. "Log it and move on." But Daniel didn't log it. Not yet. Something about the voice stuck with him. Not just fear, recognition. Like she wasn't asking for help from emergency services, but from him specifically. At 2:47 a.m., the phone rang again. Same number, or rather same lack of one. Daniel answered instantly. "Room 312. I'm here. Talk to me." This time the response came faster. "You answered again." Same voice, but quieter, weaker. "I told you I would," Daniel said. "Where are you?" A faint creaking sound filled the line, like a door slowly opening. "He's closer now." Daniel's heart rate picked up. "Who is he? Are you in danger right now?" For a moment, it sounded like she was about to answer. Then, a new voice cut in, low. Male, right next to the phone. "You shouldn't be talking." Daniel froze. The woman let out a small, choked gasp. Then the line filled with a sudden burst of static and cut off again. This time, Daniel didn't wait. He pulled internal access logs and started digging deeper. If the system couldn't trace the call, maybe he could find something manually. He searched for room 312 across recent incident reports, hotel listings, rental properties. Nothing obvious, until he checked older archives, years back, closed cases. That's when he found it. A small, almost forgotten report from 1998. A motel on the outskirts of the city, now abandoned. The report was brief. Caller reported disturbance from room 312. Officers responded. No occupants found. Case closed. Daniel stared at the screen. No occupants. Then who made the call? At 3:16 a.m., the phone rang for the third time. Daniel didn't hesitate. He answered before the first full ring. "I know where you are," he said. Silence. Then, "No, you don't." The voice was weaker than before, like she was fading. "Yes," Daniel insisted. "The old motel. Room 312. I'm sending someone." There was a long pause. Then the woman whispered something that made his stomach drop. "They already came." Daniel's grip tightened on the receiver. "What do you mean, when?" The answer came slowly, barely audible. 20 years ago. And then something impossible happened. Instead of the line going dead, Daniel heard breathing again. But this time, it wasn't just one person. There were multiple, all whispering at once. Layered, overlapping. "Don't hang up. He's still here. Room 312. You answered." Daniel pulled the headset away slightly, his pulse pounding. "Who is this?" And then that same male voice returned, right in his ear. Clear. Close. Too close. "Now he knows you too." The line went silent. Daniel didn't notice right away, but the call timer was still counting. Daniel didn't hang up. He couldn't. The line was still active. The timer continued ticking upward. 317, 318, 319. No voice, no static, just silence. But not empty silence. There was something underneath it. A faint, shifting, presence-like distant movement buried deep in the line, just beyond what he could clearly hear. Daniel slowly brought the headset back to his ear. Hello? For a moment, nothing. Then, a soft click. Not from his end. From the other side, like someone had picked up another receiver on the same line. Daniel muted his mic and quickly signaled to a nearby colleague. Listen to this, he whispered, switching the audio feed. His coworker leaned in, frowning. You hear that? Yeah, she said quietly. What is that? Daniel didn't answer, because now he heard it too. Clearer. Footsteps. Slow. Measured. Walking across what sounded like an empty room. Then stopping, right next to the phone. The line crackled, and the woman's voice returned, but it wasn't a whisper anymore. It sounded closer. Too close. You shouldn't have told him. Daniel's throat tightened. Told who? No response. Just breathing. Shaky. Uneven. Then, a sudden shift, like the phone had been turned or dragged. And in the background, for the first time, Daniel heard something unmistakable. Wind, whistling faintly through broken glass. His eyes widened. Broken glass. An abandoned building. The motel. Without waiting for permission, Daniel unmuted his mic. I'm sending officers right now, he said. Stay on the line. Don't make any noise. Do you understand? The woman didn't respond, but the breathing slowed, like she was trying to obey. Daniel flagged the call as an active emergency and pushed it through manually. Possible hostage situation, he told dispatch. Abandoned motel on Route 7, room 312. There was hesitation on the other end. That place has been empty for years. I know, Daniel snapped. Just send someone. A pause. Then, units are on the way. Back on the line, the silence deepened. Too deep. Daniel glanced at the timer. Still connected. Still active. He's moving again. The voice came suddenly. Barely controlled panic. Daniel leaned forward. Where are you? Can you hide? A quiet sob. There's nowhere to hide. The sound of footsteps returned. Slower now. Dragging, like something was being pulled behind each step. Daniel's coworker pulled back slightly. I don't like this, she whispered. He didn't either, but he couldn't stop now. Listen to me, Daniel said carefully. Stay as quiet as you can. Officers are almost there. For a moment, the woman said nothing. Then, very softly, you said that before. Daniel froze. What? You said the same thing. His mind raced. What do you mean before? I've never... You did. Her voice trembled. He made me call again. Daniel felt a cold weight settle in his chest. Call again. When? No answer. Just breathing. Then, a sound cut through the line that made both Daniel and his coworker flinch. A door slamming shut. Loud. Violent. The woman gasped. He's here. Daniel's pulse spiked. Stay on the line. Don't react. Just listen to me. Footsteps. Faster now. Closer. And then another voice. Not the man from before. Different. Younger. Panicked. Hello. Can anyone hear me? Daniel blinked. What? The new voice was clear. Urgent. I'm in room 312. There's someone here, please. The line distorted. The woman screamed. The male voice from before cut through again. You never learn. The audio collapsed into chaos. Multiple voices. Overlapping. Screaming. Whispering. Begging. All on the same line. All at once. Daniel ripped off his headset slightly, breathing hard. What the hell is this? His coworker stared at the console. There's more than one call. Daniel looked down. His blood ran cold. The system, display normally showing a single active call, was duplicating, splitting, lines stacking on top of each other, all labeled the same. Unknown caller, room 312. Units just arrived, dispatch said suddenly through his other channel. They're entering the building now. Daniel grabbed the mic again. Tell them to be careful. Something's wrong inside. Back on the line. The voices stopped, all at once, like someone had cut them off. Silence. Then, a new sound. Clear. Sharp. A radio transmission from inside the motel. One of the officers. Dispatch, this is Unit 4. We're inside. Heading to the second floor. Daniel held his breath. Unit 4, he said, cutting in. Do you see anyone? Static. Then, negative. Place is empty. A pause. Then the officer spoke again, but this time, his voice sounded different. Lower, slower. Approaching room 312. The call line in Daniel's headset clicked softly. Reconnecting, and the female voice whispered one last thing, right before everything went dark. Don't let him open the door. The officer's voice came through the radio. The line didn't disconnect. Even after the officer said it, doors already open. Daniel sat frozen, one hand gripping the edge of the desk, the other still holding the headset tight against his ear. Unit 4, he said carefully, trying to keep his voice steady. Do not enter the room. Wait for backup. There was a pause. Then a soft burst of static. It's fine, the officer replied. But something was off. The tone, too calm, too flat, like the words were being repeated, not spoken. Daniel glanced at his coworker. She shook her head slowly. Something's wrong. Unit 4, confirm status. Dispatch cut in. No answer. Just a low hum of interference. Then, a second officer's voice came through. This one was different. Tense. Alert. Dispatch, this is Unit 5. We're in the hallway. Room 312 is at the end. He stopped mid-sentence. Why is the door open? Daniel's stomach dropped. You said Unit 4 was already there, Unit 5 continued, but there's no one here. A long pause. The hallway is empty. Daniel's fingers hovered over the console. That's not possible, he said quietly. We have Unit 4 on the line. Static. Then Unit 5 again. We don't see anyone. The call in Daniel's headset crackled. And suddenly, Unit 4's voice came back, right on top of the line, but not through the radio. Through the call, through the same channel as the woman. I'm inside. Daniel's heart slammed against his ribs. Unit 4, get out of that room, now. No response. Then, there's a phone here. Daniel's eyes widened. A phone. In room 312. It's off the hook. The officer's breathing grew slower. It's been ringing. Daniel's coworker grabbed his arm. Ask him what he sees. Unit 4, Daniel said quickly. Describe the room. Silence. Then, it's empty. A pause. No furniture. Another pause. Just stains. Daniel felt a chill crawl up his spine. What kind of stains? The officer didn't answer right away. When he finally spoke, his voice had changed again. Quieter, almost confused. They look old. A breath. But they're still wet. The line distorted sharply. A high-pitched screech burst through the headset, forcing Daniel to pull it away. When the sound cleared, something else replaced it. A recording. Old, grainy, like a tape being played over the call. A woman's voice. Not the same one from before. Older. Panicked. Please, someone, help me. He won't let me leave. A loud bang echoed in the background. She screamed. Room 312, please. Daniel stared at the console. The time stamp on the recording flickered. The voice continued. He said if I call again, The recording cut abruptly. Silence. Then, Unit 4 spoke again. But this time, he wasn't describing the room anymore. He was repeating the recording, word for word. Same tone, same panic, as if it was happening to him. Please, someone, help me. He won't let me leave. Daniel's breath caught. Unit 4, stop. That's not you. You need to get out. But the officer didn't respond. He just kept going. Room 312, please. Unit 5's voice burst through the radio. Dispatch, we just heard something inside someone's talking. Is it Unit 4? Daniel asked. No, Unit 5 said slowly. It sounds like a woman. Daniel closed his eyes for a second, trying to think, trying to understand. This isn't live, he said under his breath. It's looping. The calls, the voices, different people, different times, all connected to the same room. He makes them repeat. The whisper came back, right in Daniel's ear. The original woman, weak, fading. He doesn't let them leave. Daniel leaned forward. Who is he? For the first time, she answered. The one who opened the door. A sudden crash exploded through the radio. Unit 5 shouted. Door just slammed. More static. Shuffling. Footsteps. Unit 4. Where are you? No answer. Then, a slow creak. From inside room 312. The radio picked up something else now. Not voices. Not footsteps. Breathing. Deep. Heavy. Too close to the mic. Daniel felt his chest tighten. Unit 5, fall back. Now. We can't. The officer's voice shook. The hallway. Static swallowed the rest. Daniel slammed his hand on the desk. "Say again." The reply came in broken fragments. "It's not the same. There are more doors. They weren't here before." Daniel's coworker stepped back. "What does that mean?" But Daniel already knew. Or at least, he was starting to. Room 312 wasn't just a room. It was something else. A place where calls didn't end. Where voices didn't disappear. Where anyone who answered became part of it. The line in Daniel's headset went completely silent. No static. No breathing. Nothing. Then, a final sound. Soft. Almost gentle. A phone, beginning to ring. Not from the motel. From somewhere much closer. Daniel turned slowly toward his desk phone. It wasn't connected to any incoming line. It wasn't even supposed to ring, but it was. And on the display, there was no number. Only 3 words. Room 312. The phone kept ringing. Daniel didn't move. Around him, the dispatch floor was still active. Voices, radios, keyboards, but it all felt distant, muffled, like he was no longer fully in the same place as everyone else. Only the ringing was clear, sharp, persistent, waiting. His coworker looked at him. "Don't answer it." He didn't reply, because deep down, he already knew he was going to. The display didn't change. Room 312. The ringing stopped. For a moment, Daniel thought it was over. Then, the line picked up on its own. Silence. Then breathing. Not from the headset, from the desk phone. Daniel reached out slowly and lifted the receiver. The moment he did, every other sound in the room vanished. No voices, no radios, no movement, just him. And the call. "You came closer." The voice wasn't the woman. It wasn't the officer. It wasn't even fully human. Daniel forced himself to speak. "Who are you?" A pause. Then, "I don't remember." The words felt wrong, not like an answer, like something trying to be one. "They forget too." Daniel swallowed. "Forget what?" A faint sound echoed through the line. Not a voice. A memory. A door. Opening. That it was already open. And suddenly, Daniel understood. There was no first call. No beginning. No original moment. Anyone who found room 312 never found it by accident. They were called. "You heard it." The voice grew clearer. Stronger. "So now you're part of it." Daniel shook his head. "No, I'm here. I never went to that motel." Silence. Then, a soft, almost amused response. "Not yet." The room around him flickered. Just for a second. The lights above his desk buzzed and dimmed. When they steadied again, something was wrong. The dispatch floor was still there, but it wasn't the same. The colors were duller, the shadows deeper, and every single phone was ringing all at once. Daniel turned slowly. Every screen, every console, every line, all showing the same thing. Room 312. They all answered. The voice whispered, "Just like you." Daniel backed away from the desk. His breathing quickened. "This isn't real," he said. "This isn't happening." No response. Just ringing. Endless. Then, from somewhere behind him, a voice. "Daniel?" He turned. It was his coworker, standing exactly where she had been before. But something about her was wrong. Her expression was empty. Her eyes fixed. "You have to take the call," she said softly. Daniel stared at her. "You just told me not to answer." She tilted her head slightly. "I never said that." The lights flickered again, harder this time. And when they came back, she was gone. In her place, a hallway, long, narrow, dimly lit, with peeling walls and broken doors. At the far end, a single room, the number on the door barely hanging on. Daniel's breath caught. "You found it." The voice was no longer in the phone. It was behind him, close, too close, just like the others. Daniel didn't turn around. He couldn't, because he already knew. For he did, he wouldn't see a person. Slowly, against every instinct, he looked back toward the door. It was open, dark inside, but not empty. He could hear it. Breathing, multiple, layered, waiting. "You can still leave," the voice whispered. Hope flickered. Daniel took a step back. "But you won't." Another step, because you already answered. The hallway stretched. The door felt farther away, then closer. Then, right in front of him. Daniel didn't remember walking. He didn't remember moving, but his hand was already on the handle. Cold. "Open it." He tightened his grip. And for a moment, he hesitated. And in that hesitation, he heard something, a faint voice. Far away. Don't. Weak. Breaking. The woman, the first caller. Please. Daniel closed his eyes and made a choice. He let go, stepped back, and ran. The hallway twisted behind him. The ringing grew louder. Voices overlapping, calling his name, begging, screaming. But he didn't stop, didn't look back, until, everything went silent. Daniel woke up at his desk. Lights normal. Voices normal. Phones quiet. His coworker looked at him. You good? You spaced out for a second? Daniel blinked, breathing hard. What time is it? She glanced at the clock. Daniel froze. 1 minute before the first call. Just a dream. He whispered. The phone rang. He looked down slowly. The screen lit up. No number. No ID. Just 3 words. Room 312. Daniel stared at it. This time, he didn't answer. The ringing continued for a long time. Then, it stopped. Across the city, in a quiet apartment, a phone began to ring.